welcome to the latest episode of We Conquered All the Bostik, the only podcast dedicated to Enfield Town FC. To orientate you as a listener, we're recording this straight after the home match against Bath City, the 1-1 draw. It leaves Town in 23rd place. I won't even start to go into the permutations around matches played and points. This Bath match, it follows Town's hammering away to Maidstone in midweek. But two consecutive wins before that culminated in the 5-0 win away to Farnborough. So that's the current situation. I'm Michael Lacquier, your regular matchday commentator, and with me are the two regular co-commentators. First of all, I'm happy to introduce the voice of the North London airwaves, Paul Manell. Paul, hello, welcome along to the latest podcast. Michael. And to introduce yourself, what emoji would you use to sum up the last month or so for Enfield Town?
Well, I think the last podcast we did was just before Christmas, so we're sort of covering January, February, and then sort of looking ahead. I had to go and have a look at the emojis on my phone because I'm not an emoji expert, but there's one sort of hands in front of eyes, half looking, half not. That's where we are, folks. It's that stage of the season because every game's going to be nervy, and of course last Saturday, glory, wasn't it? Farnborough. Exactly. And then Tuesday, the hands were in front of the eyes again. Both hands in front of eyes. And then today was a hard watch, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a strange one. We'll come on to Bath.
So that's the emoji for me.
Yeah. Thanks very much. So that's Paul, and also alongside us today, the other of our co-commentators, the happiest man in North London. And the reason I say this, John Manatara, is because after that Maidstone defeat, I was looking at some of the comments online, and there was a bit of doom and gloom. And who comes up with "Keep the faith, Town"? And it's the happiest man in North London. It's John Manatara. John, the emoji for you.
And I'm not on any illegal substances, Towners either. So it's keep the faith. Yes. But I'll start drinking, smoking, and everything by the end of this season. I think alluding to what Paul said, I mean, maybe the scary face, but I think for me, it kind of summed up in the last 3 or 4 days, a week or so, I should say now, after today, was 2 emojis. The angel emoji and the devil one is heaven and hell. It's literally been agony and ecstasy.
Inside, was it 4 days or something? Yeah.
I mean, it's just been unreal.
Sublime to ridiculous, wasn't it?
It really has.
Craziest week.
And you just couldn't believe it. Record away score, and he scored step 2, and record defeat 3 days later. So
it's the heaviest defeat in Town's history.
Yeah, in Town's history as well, yeah. And
what was that Alex Ferguson quote? Football, bloody hell.
It's like heaven and hell for emojis.
The gesticulation you're just making there, Paul, you can't see it obviously if you're listening, but that's my emoji of choice, the shrug. No idea what's coming next with Town.
A hope and a prayer is the next one, I think.
So that's introductions. As I say, we're just coming off the back of the Bath draw. It was a slightly tough watch. It looked like a match in which both sides were keen not to lose. We just bumped into Gavin McPherson, the town manager, on the way here to record this podcast, and he said the 2 goals summed it up. One was a 30-yard wonder goal, and the other was a flick where the lad didn't quite know what he was trying to do, and it ended up in the back of the net. The flicked header that was Bath's equaliser. It was a tough watch. The goals when they came were slightly random and unusual. What did you make of them, John?
I think it was a fantastic. We had it coming with Nino, with the Adam Adakai with the shots. Normally they've gone, up into the upper tier.
I suppose eventually he was bound to get one.
He was bound to get a screamer.
Hard though, can't he?
And luckily it didn't hit anybody, and it went in this time.
Michael made the point in commentary. He didn't fly into the top corner, did it?
Yeah.
It was a kind of skimmer, wasn't it?
Skimmer onto the corner.
A hovercraft.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It just a ballistic missile kind of thing.
And the goalie didn't look like he was expecting it really.
We weren't expecting it, to be quite honest.
And it flew in. It was a great goal.
It was fantastic.
I think if you listen back to the recording, which all the matches, the recordings are on mjl99.mixlr.com. If you listen back to the goal when that went in, you will hear genuine shock and surprise in my voice. I think I said, he's going to have a shot, is he? Oh, it's gone in. Voice rising an octave.
And but the thing was like deja vu with the goal we conceded with the Horsham. We were saying
quite similar, wasn't it?
Looping header, almost identical spot, and just over And I'm thinking,
any blame attached to Joe Wright for that?
I don't know. Don't you think it was a surprise in a way? I think even the player was surprised it looped in. It wasn't like it was one of those headers that you're trying to get it into the box rather than score. I think, and it just
that's what I thought.
You know?
My obviously I've only seen it once. I thought he was just trying to flick it back across the area, and of course it looped in. But he caused quite a few problems. I think it was Rains who was taking those long throws for Bath City. Caused us a few problems with him this afternoon.
They're the better throws. A lot of teams do that long throw, but he was one of the most effective ones. I thought.
I mean, that's the only way I could see Bath City scoring this afternoon, really, from set piece.
And going back to Gavin's comments, it was that sort of game, wasn't it? You couldn't really see either side scoring through sort of regular means. It
just seemed that a draw was a fitting result, to be fair.
I remember, Michael, you said at half time, I think this is going to be a draw. And it just looked that way, didn't it?
Yeah, because both sides, at the start of play, it was 21st against 22nd. Bath 21st, we were 22nd. Neither side wanted to lose this one, not against a relegation rival so close. I think from Town's point of view, is it a case that on the back of the 8-0, just had to not lose today?
Yeah, I think that's to re-stabilise and build a confidence, especially at the back. And I think obviously with Apaya coming in, that was good because Tomo's loss is going to be
huge.
Yeah,
I'll interrupt you there. You've called him Apaya, and I've never had a name debated so intensely before a match.
Apaya.
Everyone was getting involved. The Bath media guys. Oh goodness! In the end, we had to ask the man himself. I asked half a dozen of the officials around town as well. It's Appia.
Appia.
Yeah, so there we go.
Appia as in happier.
Well, he'll be happier after playing for us this afternoon, won't he? Because he hasn't played much this season.
He keeps his house happy.
He did, yeah. On today's draw, though, my worry is that it puts a bit of pressure on Tuesday night, Hampton and Richmond, because if you look at 2 home games this week, we'd want at least 4 points from them. So that means we've got to win Tuesday night. And Hampton and Richmond up to today. I know they lost today, but they've been on pretty good form. So that's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, really, when you think about it, this is the business end of the season. We need to pick up points. We can't think, we're draws, all right, with a rival. We need to pick up. It's literally a 6-pointer.
Yeah.
And say if we did get on a run and win that, and Chippenham as well on Saturday, that's like 6 points, 35 games. The same as Hampton have at the moment, 35 and 36. So it's definitely a 6-pointer that we have to win. We can't hold back, and we have to really go for it, I think, in that match.
We are on a decent run. Okay, even accepting the Maidstone defeat, which I know 8 goals obviously colours it, but even if you take that into account, the last 6 games, it's just the one defeat. 2 wins, three draws now in the last 6. 3 draws, 2 wins, 1 defeat.
Yeah,
that sort of form. If we do that, the next bunch of 6 games, it wouldn't be a bad return.
It is
9 points from 6.
Last season, when we stayed up, and whether it will be the same this season, who knows? We finished with 48 points, I believe. We're currently on 30. So that means
6 more wins, technically, yeah.
So obviously 18 more points to pick up in our running.
13 games.
So it's half the games to win, which is doable when you think about it, really.
Yeah, it is.
It'll be tight.
But it's good. Yeah, you know what? I've written down on my notes tight. And I've also written goal difference.
Yeah.
Because that you never know, that could be crucial at the end of the season. And I came away from that Farnborough game last Saturday thinking, wow, +5 on the goal difference.
Yeah, which is rare.
And then Tuesday night,
it was just it took a hammering.
Moment by moment, it just disappeared.
It was a bit like quote from Barry Fry. I remember when Barnet got promoted to the first match in the Football League against Crewe Alexandra. They lost 7-4, and his summary of their defence was, "We thought defence was something that was around the garden." He said, I always remember Barry Fry's classic, and I think that's how that felt with the mates. I actually sat and watched the highlights twice because I'm so sad.
I couldn't do it.
It was unbearable, but it was. I think they had about 9 or 10 chances and scored 8. And the worldly save at the end by Joe Wright was one of the best saves of the season, and could have been even more. But It was, yeah.
But on the running though, it's because if we do need those 18 points, although Salisbury stayed up, they were below us. They stayed up in 46, didn't they, last season? So it might not be the 18, it might be 16 more points. But we've got a lot of home games coming, haven't we? So they're the crucial ones, aren't they?
Yeah, Hampton, Dagenham, Dorking, Worthing, Chesham.
And a lot of home games, you have to say, on paper, are winnable. I mean, Tuesday night Hampton, Chesham at home, Dagenham are very inconsistent, Dorking will be very tough, Worthing will be tough, Hemel a good side, Slough at home's winnable. So yeah, we hopefully.
You say that though on paper, and I agree. It's all doable. It's a funny old league, but if the last week has taught me anything, it's just to disregard what's on paper because 5-0 to 0-8.
Yeah, of course.
My biggest fear is if they postpone the Hampton and Richmond Borough game, not on just the preparing for commentary perspective of like take 3, take 4 now, and so I could just have this feeling it'll be like almost like you play those double matches on the same day, last match of the season, school games when the games are postponed, and you get a midweek home to Hampton, last match of the season, Hampton and Richmond. I'm dreading that scenario.
We've got to play them twice.
We do. Yeah.
Just for the benefit of our listeners, poor old John, he's prepared 3 times now to go commentate on Hampton. So irrespective of whenever that game finally does take place, and it's supposed to be this coming Tuesday, John has insisted he's going to commentate just because he's done all the prep thrice now.
I'm not quitting like we should in town as keep the faith.
Even though all the Hampton players have changed now.
I know.
They brought about 7 in since the original postponement.
I've got to redo every bit of notes all the time. I've never known anything like it. It's like having your homework at school and you're redoing it, your teacher says every time.
Yeah, Hampton Richmond, we played on Tuesday night, and then our last scheduled game of the season is away at Hampton. 12:30 kickoff, I've heard.
Is it?
Oh, really? Apparently so. I don't know why. Do we think it will go to the wire, last game of the season?
That's odd. That would have to mean every game.
Yeah, I think it will. I think every game must be at 12:30, yeah.
Okay.
Don't know why. No idea. Do you reckon it will go to the last game of the season?
If it does, I'll start drinking.
like it did last season?
Yeah,
I think it could. Yeah, it's very
I've got
tight.
a feeling it will. The way things are going around the bottom, teams are winning and then are losing, then they go through a phase.
I would say though, it doesn't take much to put a run together because it doesn't feel like 5 minutes ago that I was looking at Slough. They were right next to us.
Yeah.
You know, they were a big rival, and now they're 10 points ahead of us.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
That's what happens if you put a little run together. And to be fair, Town went 10 games without a win, which by coincidence 10 games that Mickey Parcell missed. But we can come on to that in a moment. So we've talked about Bath, moved on a bit. An interesting aspect of the defeat to Maidstone, the decent run of form prior to that, and then what's happened today is the formation. We'd kind of switched to a diamond, 4-4-2, but the forward midfield was a bit of a diamond, and that worked obviously very well against Horsham and Farnborough with the 2 wins. We put together a 4-game unbeaten run, switched back out of necessity, I think. Switched back to 3-5-2 with wing-backs midweek. Mickey Parcell wasn't fully fit. Tomo was injured. It was a bit of a lack of personnel. Also, it was pointed out to me that of the 4 fit defenders we had, 3 were left-footed. So we had Nino, Henry Hawkins, Rory Donaldson.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily fit a back 4. So we switched to a back 3. And, 8 goals conceded. There was a lot of space on the flanks. Today we reverted back to the 4-4-2, diamond 4-4-2. It looked a bit more stable. What do you make of the formation? Am I over-egging this, or does the formation play quite a big part in this?
I think it does, and I think we've looked quite good with the 4-4-2. We had that great win over Horsham, didn't we? And prior to that, I think we played the 4-4-2 with the 2 draws. I think I'm right in saying.
Yeah.
And then of course we had that thumping win last Saturday against Farnborough. I think the diamond in midfield suits us quite well. I think Sam Youngs is at his best when he's coming from midfield.
Yeah.
So when he's playing the high point of the diamond, that's when he's at his best. I.e. when he scored his 2 goals against Farnborough, coming late. Hayden Bullis, who's magnificent as we know and has got amazing energy. I'm not sure if right midfield is his best position. I think he's better playing a central role, but needs must. He kind of plays that position. So formations, yes, I think are important, and 4-4-2 does seem to suit us with the diamond in midfield. I think personnel as well, though. I just think against Maidstone, there was no Tomo, obviously injured. Vicky Parcell on the bench didn't come on. Hayden Bullis on the bench didn't come on. You're talking 3 leaders there. I know Hayden Bullis is very young, but he is still a leader on the pitch, mainly through how he plays. And I think they were desperately missed on Tuesday night. I'm not saying that's the only reason we had the hammering that we did, but I think it contributed to it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, it resonates very strongly with what you said, really, because I think it's we call it the Parcell, Mickey and Tomo effect. That sort of, I don't know, that maturity in midfield, and even when they're on the pitch, there just seems to be more organisation. With Maidstone, I've got to be honest, I mean, all the players will say it was a shambles, really, defensively. I mean, they just cut up left and right. It was like a hot knife going through butter every time they attacked. And they just like that shape and leadership to ride the storm, and in the end they really, I mean, it was well sunk. It was a storm. Like the tide went down like quicker than Titanic.
Yeah, early like goals went in, heads went down.
Yeah, and if the heads went down, that's the thing with Tomo at the back and
a rubbish night all round. I mean, it was a long journey as well.
Yeah, and such a long journey. But like
in terms of there was a lot of traffic, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was. But still, it's like you said. I think when they're on the pitch, it makes a huge difference. And he can't, just because of them, like you said, it's not that. It's a whole team that lets each other down, I think, especially with the Maidstone. But at Farnborough, incredible. The 4-4-2 worked really well.
It did.
And I think this, when the ball's played on the ground quicker than just these long balls and hoofing or something, doesn't make any... I think Enfield play at the best when the ball's on the ground with quick movements, and that catches the teams out, and that's what we did with
Farnborough. We played one on a break against Farnborough, didn't we?
Yeah, the breaks were really good.
Yeah, the first goal, and I think the third goal, were all on the break.
Yeah, and like I said, I think you alluded to is about with Sam Young's just playing behind the strikers. I think that makes a difference. And Bullis in the middle, I quite believe. Sometimes we haven't got that option. It's to do with injuries. Hence why Mickey's playing right back or whatever.
Yeah, if you're playing the diamond, Traore's going to play in the middle, isn't he?
Exactly.
At the base.
Yeah, at the base of the diamond.
So you really...
right, Hayden to the right, Ollie Knight to the left, Young's to the front of the diamond.
Yeah, that's the way I reckon. That's probably the best formation that currently, anyway, I think. But it's needs must with injuries, though, so you can't. It's hard. It's never going to be the same formation. But sometimes I think,
because you can't not play Traore at the moment.
Yeah, Traore.
Since he came in, he's been excellent.
Do you know what? He's one of the best players we've had this season. I've got to be honest, because he's kind of what we need in the middle. And if somebody gets injured,
reads the game well, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he picks up the pieces. Reads the game. Intelligent player, and doesn't get often caught with the ball, compared to in that position. But he's impressed me, particularly against Farnborough. He's just snapped up every loose ball, every 50-50.
He had a blinding game against Middlesbrough.
And I think that's the difference.
The reason I said Middlesbrough is, just in my head, he was in Middlesbrough for 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
So to be at a club like that for that length of time, he must be a decent player.
Yeah, just shone for me.
Just going back to the Maidstone game, first of all, to pick up on a couple of points, I agree with you on Sam Young's at the tip of the diamond, that attacking midfield position. It suits him well. It's sort of Scholes, Platt, Dele Alli type, arriving late. I like that. I agree with Traore at the base of midfield. Going back to the Maidstone game, it is worth noting, 8-0 it finished up, and there's no knowing what would have happened, but the third Maidstone goal, about 20 seconds before it went in, Town had a corner, Henry Hawkins' header was cleared off the line. On another day that goes in, it's not. It becomes 2-1. On the day, as it transpired, it was cleared. Maidstone counter-attacked like a runaway train, and they made it 3-0. It's a bit of a sliding doors moment. There's no saying that if we got back to 2-1, we wouldn't still have taken a hammering. But that, I do wonder what might have happened there. And in terms of heads going down, I thought the moment, like at 2-0, 3-0, it was so early on that I got the impression the Town players were still motivated enough. There was a sort of mentality of, okay, let's just keep doing what we're doing. They didn't shut up shop and try to sit back. The killer goal as it was, and it's a ridiculous thing to say in an 8-0 that there's a killer goal, but the one straight after half time when you're just hoping everyone resets.
Was that 5?
That was 5.
Yeah,
Within
5,
90 seconds of half time we conceded a 5th, and that's when heads went down and you started to see a bit of bickering.
Certainly when my head went down, I'll tell you.
I just kind of thought it 4-0, could, not that it was going to be a miracle, but keep it tight, maybe get the next goal, see what happens. But straight after half-time, 5th goal, that killed it.
That was soul-destroying, really.
Yeah.
And like you said, it is a sliding doors moment. There was a couple of attacks when it was 2-0, like you said, close to getting 1 goal. But
Nino had another long shot.
Yeah, and it was just, I think they were ruthless, though. And any other, we played other teams who created less and scored, created more and scored less, I should say. And
sometimes when teams are leading by a lot at half time, say 4-0, they sort of psychologically ease off the second half, don't they?
Yeah, and credit to Maidstone. They really punished us for every mistake made, and it's a lesson learned, I think. Well, lessons, I should say, the plural there. But it's just, it was astounding after the resounding 5-0 win, which could have been more as well.
It's crazy.
But that's why we love football, and it is the agony and the ecstasy and every emotion in 3 days. I nearly threw my phone away, and I feel, oh no, I need this. It's like,
but we just need to put that Maidstone game behind us now.
Yeah.
And that's
move on.
I thought one of the positives of today, okay, it was a dull game and it was 1-1 in the game we might have won, but it helped to put Maidstone behind us.
Yeah, that's right. Put in a more solid performance, got a draw.
And I've forgotten all about it now.
If we'd lost today, obviously it's damaging, but if we'd taken a hammering, questions would start to be asked of Gavin, I think.
Yeah.
You lose 8-0, it's a one-off, but if you lose 8-0 and then follow it up with a 3 or 4-0 home defeat, then it feels like we've got to do something drastic. And so just getting a dull 1-1, it helped settle things a bit. We touched on the Parcel effect. So the reason I call it the Parcel effect, Town beat Horsham and Farnborough with Mickey back in the side. Those were his first appearances for 10 games. In the 10 games he missed, we didn't win. We just drew and lost for 10 games. Prior to that, Mickey was in the side, and we beat Maidstone.
Yeah. That was midweek here, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mickey was in the side, certainly against Farnborough. I don't think he was necessarily in against Maidstone, but he played against Farnborough, missed 10 or 11 games, then came back and we had 2 more wins. There's something about...
That was when we beat Farnborough here.
5-1.
Yeah,
There's something about having him in the side. He might not have the energy of a Bullis or whatever, but he puffs out his chest and he just sort of screams at people. He holds players to account, right back, defensive midfield, whatever it is. There's something about his personality. That's one point I wanted to throw at you. The other point is, I think back then when we beat Farnborough, we were playing 5-3-2 with 2 sitting and 1 in the number 10. And I think it was Hayden Bullis was sort of...
He was
that attacking midfield.
Yeah, you're right.
With Mickey and Tosh Gallimore sitting.
That's right.
No, and it was the Holy Trinity.
Well.
That one,
it was, wasn't it? That sort of 3 in midfield.
And then he got injured.
Tosh.
Then he got injured.
Parcel and then Hayden in front of them.
And Hayden, that little triangle, that was like the Holy Trinity in the middle that seemed to think, we've actually clicked in the middle. The engine room of the team seemed to be there, and the ball was on the ground and playing the ball out to the wings and...
Yeah, we played some good football that night, didn't we?
And
we did.
What? We've got good technical players. The more we play on the ground, every time we do a long ball, it doesn't always seem to work. The strength is playing on the ground quickly, on the counter particularly, I think.
Like we did at Farnborough on Saturday. But, sorry, Mike, I was just going to say on Mickey Parcell, I've heard you mention a few times in commentary Mickey's gait. I mean, not as in he strolls around arrogantly, but he's just got that confidence of experience. He knows the club, he knows the fans, he knows the job, and he makes such a difference when he's on the pitch. I think he lifts those around him.
He's a true leader.
It's not just yelling at people either.
No, that's right.
He talks the talk, but then he walks the walk as well. He'll go flying in himself.
Yeah, he's a leader amongst men, literally, Mickey. You know, he's a good lad overall.
And by the way, how seamlessly has he adapted to going back to right back?
Yeah,
fair play.
He looks good in that. Any way he plays, he looks good to me.
Was it a Horsham game he came in at right back?
Yeah, that was it.
Because Jav was suspended.
That's it.
And it looked like he'd never been away.
Honestly, he fits in everywhere, really, and...
It's going to be a challenge for Zav to get back in the team now.
Well, it
still
is.
Got a back four, Mickey at right back.
It's a funny one, actually, because today I thought Jav would play centre half with Tomo unavailable because Appiah came in and he did a decent job, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, Appiah, it was a good sort of first game for us, anyway. I think, and a bit like Joe Kizzy when he came in on loan from Barnet. He was like that sort of presence in some ways.
Well, I spoke about the Parcel effect, and because we'd gone those 10 games without a win, and then the 2 games prior to that we'd won against Farnborough and Maidstone. Perhaps it was the Joe Kizzy effect. Joe Kizzy came in for those 2 games. The defence just settled. Kizzy, I was very dubious beforehand. He hadn't played for pretty much
16 months or something.
No, that's right.
And he just took to it like a duck to water, didn't he? We only had him the 2 games, I think.
The testament to how well he did is that Barnet instantly called him back. Yeah. And I think since then he's been in their first team, hasn't he?
I've seen him twice, funny enough, and he was solid. He's a really good player.
But he can play as well, can't he?
Yeah, and he reads the game well. He can play even CDM. He's that kind of player as well. But he plays as centre-back for Barnet. But
for our listeners over 40,
impressive.
CDM is central defensive midfielder.
Yeah. As we say, a decent player.
But on the flip to that, I mean, Henry Hawkins was out when brought Kizzy in. Different player to Kizzy, obviously. Yeah. But I think Henry Hawkins has done really well since he's come back.
He's done well and scored as well.
I think he was he Player of the Month last month?
Yeah, he was.
So he's done. He's different player, obviously.
You know what you're getting with Hawkins. Yeah. You're not going to get. You talked about Joe Kizzy being comfortable on the ball. That's not really Hawkins' game so much. He's more of a no risk. Just get it out.
No nonsense kind of player.
But he scored an absolute blinding goal.
Yeah.
And he was one of the few to emerge with any credit against Maidstone, which is again a weird thing to say when you've lost 8-0.
He still scores the odd goal here and there as well.
Yeah, well he does. Yeah.
So we mentioned Kizzy. They've actually been certainly since our last podcast. There've actually been a few different arrivals. So I wanted to just cast an eye over them and gain your thoughts on them. We've spoken about Kizzy. We've touched on Paul Appiah, who turned up today. Traore as well, we've touched upon. He didn't have a great game against Maidstone, has to be said. He was at fault for one of the goals before half-time, and he was hooked at half-time. But generally, Traore's been, a different sort of player. I know you're a big fan of his, Paul.
I am, yeah. I've got written down here, tenacious Traore, because he's a real battler in that midfield, isn't he? He reads the game well. He loves a tackle, doesn't he? He's not the biggest lad. I mean, he's quite slightly built, but
he loves
a tackle.
Kind of.
Yes, that's a good comparison.
The physique and presence as well, and a very intelligent player.
He is. He wins the ball, plays it simply,
reads it well.
I said a few times in commentary today, he picked up the scraps. He just seemed to do that. As you say, it's reading the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
He does read the game well, yeah. There were a few times when Stade Bath were breaking down our left, and Adam Malachi was caught slightly out of position a couple of times, and who was sweeping up at Traore. Again, as you say, it's that reading of the game. So I think he's been a very good acquisition. Yeah, he had an off night at Maidstone. Maybe he was a bit tired after a lot of football recently, perhaps, who knows. But he's been really good.
Corey Andrews? What do we think of him?
Corey Andrews, I mean, his hold-up play, he did 2 assists, I think, with Farnborough, I think he was.
Yeah, he did.
His support play is excellent, and he's got a bit of a presence as well. What I like to see a bit more is if he gets opportunity to shoot and score, a couple of them. But then you need the service as well, let's face it, to do that.
Which he didn't get a lot of.
Which he hasn't had anyway. But, I think he's a lot of potential there. I mean, he's settled a bit more, holding the ball, and he is a bit of a presence there. But like I said, I like him to get opportunity to finish something. But
I think the first couple of games he played for us, he was a bit undercooked. He hadn't had a lot of football coming in, but it's looking sharper now.
The more he's playing, the more he's settled. So I think it's a positive having him for sure.
I agree. I think he's kind of active rather than passive. And what I mean is, as a commentator, for example, I notice him sort of going to find the ball, holding it up, back to goal. Doesn't just wait, and if nothing happens, fade into the background. We had Tommy Wood earlier in the season, and in pre-season he looked like a fox in a box. He looked a good goal scorer, and then whenever he got a chance, he kind of urged him. He'd be imploring him to make an impact off the bench, because invariably it was off the bench, and most of the time he didn't really. Whereas Corey Andrews, okay, he started games rather than being an impact sub, but he's got involved. He's tried to make things happen, as you say, back to goal, holds it up. And even today, there was one moment he picked it up back to goal and just rolled his man, just turned him, got a shot away.
He was unlucky there, it was blocked, yeah, that's right. And his link-up play with Lamar's good, isn't it?
Yes,
seems like a good foil to
exactly.
Lamar Reynolds,
and the only thing is, if Kean Dillon might come back with chance, and Gavin before we start the podcast.
Is there a chance of Kean coming back?
Yeah, there is a chance of possibly coming back, and
we'll leave it at that, shall we, folks?
Yeah, because I think he has to play.
To be continued.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's a chance.
I wonder if Dillon's back, does perhaps Lamar drop out? Has Andrews been doing more than Lamar to retain a place? We'll see.
But that would be good. Competition for places up front, which is probably our weakest area, you would say.
Yeah.
We're pretty good in defence. Got quite a lot of competition currently in midfield. You would say up front is the area where
gone through a few.
That's right. Yeah, so that can only be good.
And
with the running coming up.
Exactly. Even we've got 2 games a week now, and you're going to need even somebody to come on for the last 30 minutes to get fresh legs. So Kean's versatility as well, and pace and aggression, and then obviously matched with Andrews as well. And Corey Andrews got that sort of strength as well, and Lamar a bit of finesse and technical ability. Any of those 3 combined, those two out of those 3 is going to be a threat. So
when was the last time Lamar scored? I'm struggling to remember.
I think I had it down as 4 games ago. I can't quite remember. I can't quite remember. So we've talked about Corey Andrews, Kean Dillon, Lamar Reynolds. What about Ruben Bartlett-Antwi?
I mean, we've not really seen enough of him.
We haven't.
And it's hard to judge because he's hardly been on.
He just comes on as a late sub, doesn't it? Like today, a late
90th minute.
late sub today.
I mean, I would like to see a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, when he has come on, he's looked decent, hasn't he? He looks like he's strong, and he troubles tired defenders when he comes on, but he must be a bit frustrated.
I bet. Off the ball, he's kind of applied the press. That's the best I can say about him when he's come on. Haven't really noticed him doing anything in possession. That's, for a striker, that's not necessarily always their fault. They need to be given the service, but haven't seen anything when he's come on to make me think, there's a player. Whereas, hesitate to say it, but Eli Ackerson, when he comes on, no matter the situation of the game or the opposition or the occasion, he does seem to make a difference. He just goes flying in, gets stuck in. Not quite. I feel I've not quite seen that with Bartlett-Antwi yet.
Possibly right,
yeah. And Eli Ackerson, obviously depending on what happens with his trial.
If you haven't heard, Eli Ackerson
that's not a trial in the court.
He was invited for a trial. He was invited for a trial by Coventry City, and he's had a few games on trial with them. So we're waiting to see how that pans out. I think every town would wish him the very best of luck, because it would be a fantastic move if he got it. I'd love to see more of him in the white shirt of Enfield Town. I think every time I've seen him as a sub, and there was the one cup game he started, he's made an impact. As I say, he's caused trouble. He's got pace. He's also a very strong boy
for a young lad. He's unbelievably strong.
He gave Marley Salmon a real hard time when we played the Arsenal youth, academy team, wasn't it, under 21s, and
Salmon, who's featured
in the
quite a lot
first
for Arsenal recently.
And he's a really good player. And he gave him a really hard time so. Eli Ackerson's definitely one for the future, and wish him luck, of course, if he makes it with Coventry City, who are flying in the Championship at the moment.
But if he does come back, I really hope we get more minutes from him than just 10 here, 15 there. He's worth... I understand the principle, because I asked Gavin about this at the annual general meeting. I understand the principle of managing his minutes and managing expectations. 10 minutes, 5 minutes there. He could still... allowing for that. Throw him in from the start once every half dozen games, just because opposition teams won't know anything about him, really.
Yeah.
And I think that gives us an advantage by not knowing how really good he is.
Yeah.
And
just one game, then put him aside.
Or even as a sub last half hour, when the tiring or the season pros in, they think, well, where's he come from?
I mean, today would have been a good chance to do it. Bath have a lot of older faces in their centre-back. They played a back three today, and a back three with something like 600-700 appearances between them. Yeah, I'd love to see him get a run of games.
And when you're young as well, like he is,
fearless
and raw, aren't you? You just go for it, and I think that's what fans love about him. He just comes on, puts himself about. Yeah, they love all that. So, if he does come back, that would be good.
I love his hair. I'm so jealous.
I think we all are. Yeah,
indeed.
One other arrival has been Joe Wright. I think he might just have arrived when we did our last podcast just before Christmas. Not quite sure.
After we
put the mockers right on Reece Forsters, haven't we?
Which is why no player has agreed to come in this afternoon.
Players are terrified in case it's a sign of an injury or leaving the club or something.
What have you made of Joe Wright since he's come back?
I think he's been really good. He's got all that experience and know-how. He's made some really good saves. I'm thinking that double save against Horsham.
Wow, that was the beginning of the second half.
In the second half, they put that away, and it would have been a different game.
I mean, even the best save though was like I think even as well as that one was the one against Maidstone.
Late on,
that was like that's the one thing I kept rewinding. The feel good was watching that save. That was the only positive I came out with.
8-0 at the time, pretty much the 90th minute. But it was, I think, Ram Ishmael, who was a club director and many other jobs, who was co-commentator that night. He said it was vaguely similar to Banks against Pele because Joe was sort of...
it sort of changed balance.
Yeah, he was moving to his right, he was jockeying to his right, and then the header came down to his left, and he somehow got down, changed direction, flung himself, full stretch, arm out, strong palm, pushed it aside. It was the critical moment as well. It kept it at 8-0 because 9 would have been embarrassing, but it kept it down to 8.
Well, a bit more embarrassing maybe.
The only thing about Joe Wright, I would say, and I am a big fan, and I have been every time he's been at the club, is his distribution isn't the best sometimes. His kicking.
Yeah. Actually, today he did give the ball away in the
couple of times.
Second half, but. His shot stopping and initiatives come out generally. It's pretty
dealing with crosses and I know poor Reece took a bit the brunt of it with the crosses start of the season, but his confidence went down. I think Reece. Joe Wright, he gives confidence to the defence by the way he claims crosses.
He's quality, so he's a great signing, I think, and great coming back to steady the ship at the back. And,
agree.
I'm really happy having him there as a keeper.
Another one whose hair we envy as well.
Very much so.
Luscious locks
as well, luscious locks, and head and shoulders above everybody else, literally.
And we needed that because the goalkeeper situation was becoming a bit of a nightmare, wasn't it?
It was.
They were coming in and then leaving and getting injured. Yeah, that's right.
And we didn't even question them for podcasts. Honestly, listeners out there, so can't blame it on us for that one. That effect.
Should we deviate a little bit from the hurdy-burdy of examining all the results and the players and just have a little game that perhaps the listeners at home can play as well? Earlier this season, popping up on social media, I think it was well before Christmas, saw a few photographs from a town training session where they'd had some sort of internal five-a-side competition to end one of their training sessions, and you had pictures of all the different five-a-side teams within the squad that were competing against each other. And I thought, who would I pick in an Enfield Town five-a-side team? So I invite you, Paul and John, and again, as I say, listeners, you join in as well. From all the players Town have had this season, so including the new arrivals and including those who've departed this season, who would you pick in your Enfield Town FC five-a-side team? Paul?
I'll take it we're playing permanent goalkeeper, not rush goalkeeper.
Sure, yeah, let's go with that.
So my goalkeeper for our five-a-side match is Ed Thompson.
Ooh, did not see that coming.
Yeah, that
because he's been on the bench quite a few times. I just think he needs game time.
anytime.
And there is nothing like five-a-side as a goalkeeper to sharpen up your reflexes. Because you're going to be in action a lot, aren't you? So, Ed, you're in goal. I've got Xav Benjamin because he's quick and he recovers really well, which are essentials in five-a-side football. Reads the game well, good passer. Just for his presence and much, much more, of course, Mickey Parcell, super experienced leadership. If I say energy and quick passing and reading the game, we're talking, who do you think? Hayden Bullis.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Traore would equally do that job, but I've got Hayden Bullis. And then to put the ball away, when the ball's played in too quickly, Lamar Reynolds up front. So that's my five.
So it's
very similar.
Ed Thompson, Xav, and Mickey Parcell, Hayden Bullis, and Lamar. That's your five.
That's my five.
John?
My five are Joe Wright, shot stopper, especially for five-a-side, and he's not a tall guy, but he's got smaller goals as well than five-a-side. I was making that, if I was just thinking those looping headers, if it's slightly taller, he might have just got them, but Joe Wright definitely. Xav Benjamin, because sheer terror of not picking him. His aggressive attitude.
Don't make that man angry.
So if you're listening, Xav, it was a no-brainer. It was, but he's really quick as well, though, and he's tenacious in the tackle. And in five-a-side, you need a bit of
distribution is good as well.
Very good.
Yeah, quick passing.
And obviously Mickey to steady the ship in the middle. I picked Mickey. My other players. If I had a sub as well, it would be Hayden Bullis and Billy Leonard, because Billy Leonard's very nippy and technical player.
He is, actually. He's good at taking players on.
And Hayden Bullis, because he's got that authority on the pitch. But up front, I'd have Sammy Youngs, because he'll suit that sort of as five-a-side and
gets a chance, puts it away.
Yeah. So
cool.
That'll be my team, I think, five-a-side.
So we've got Joe Wright,
Xav Benjamin, Mickey Purcell. And I've got probably Billy Leonard because of the pace, I think. And I'd have Hayden Bullis on the subs bench to come on. And Sam Young's up front.
Okay. Quite similar then, the two of you. There's not too much difference. The only difference, I think, is Young's for Lamar and Billy for Hayden.
And
Ed, of course, similar.
I'm sticking with Ed Thompson.
All right.
Experience.
I'm going with Reece in goal, Reece Forster.
Because
I was thinking of
this season.
We've had him this season, so it's within the rules of the game.
Yes, of course.
And we just talked about Joe Wright's distribution. I think in a five-a-side team, you need a goalkeeper to be able to distribute, play well with his feet. I thought. Okay, he'd give us kittens, but when he'd come flying out of his area. But Reece was actually pretty good with his feet.
I miss Reece, got to be honest.
If he had, an area in which his confidence was down, it was crosses, and you don't get that so much in five-a-side. So that's Joe Wright's forte, I'd definitely say. But I think Reece would be fairly well suited to five-a-side, so I go with him. I've differed from you two in that being a bit more gung-ho, I only play one defender in five-a-side, so then everyone else can bomb forward. To dare is to do, you see. So I was considering Xav Benjamin for all the reasons you mentioned. Both of you, he's quick, he's got the recovery speed, all the rest. But I've become such a big Mickey Parcell fan in recent weeks in particular because of his leadership and just flying in and geeing everyone up, and you'd be terrified not to play well alongside him. And he's adaptable, defence and midfield. So Mickey's my defender. Midfield, Hayden Bullis shoe-in for all the reasons we've said. He's got all the energy, he's a leader. I'd have Nino in midfield as well, because I was thinking five-a-side, you want someone who's really technically good, got a bit of a dribbler.
Can lash them in from distance.
Lash them in, and Nino seems rarely happier than when he's just dribbling past people and bombing
it's a good
forward.
choice. It's one of my subs I would have had,
And then up top, I went with Sam as well, Sam Youngs, because he's on 99 goals. He knows where the goal is. So.
Certainly does, yeah.
So that's my five. There are definite similarities, aren't there, between all three of us?
But certainly the makings of a super-duper five-a-side team there.
You should then enter them in a tournament somewhere when they play other clubs. We'll be coaching them on the bench on the side.
One point I wanted to mention as well was Gavin's use of substitutes. This is something I've come back to a couple of times, I think, on the podcast and in commentary, and I think it's been pretty strong in recent weeks. When we've had this uptick in form, I think there's sometimes been a criticism of Gavin. He leaves it late. He's not too proactive with substitutions. Recent weeks, it feels like, for whatever reason, and he's got his own reasons, but he's just started introducing substitutes a little earlier, sort of just gone the 65 minute mark. He starts bringing them on, and we've seen it to good effect in a couple of games.
Bailey Brown came on quite early in the second half today, didn't he?
Yep.
And even Maidstone came on earlier, didn't he?
Well, he came on at half time.
Yeah, that's it. Because all the changes had to be made.
Yeah, something had to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Horsham's good, like you said, as well. And Farnborough, I think at the right time, right players at the right time. I think couldn't criticise at all. It was good decision making.
That's always something Gavin's criticised for, isn't it? You speak to fans in the bar. Why doesn't he bring players on earlier? And I suppose today they'll talk about Bartlett and Antwi. Why didn't he bring him on 90 minutes? What's he going to do? But it's difficult, isn't it? It is a difficult one.
That is one that does confuse me. Why bring on a player in the 90th minute?
Unless we were winning, then you might
bring on a tall player at the back or something. But bringing on Bartlett Antwi on 90 minutes today, I found that confusing at 1-1. I didn't see what that was going to achieve. But generally, it just seemed to me in the last month or so, Gavin's been a bit more proactive with his substitutions.
Earlier,
a bit earlier.
You mentioned the Horsham games. Certainly the subs there, I think, did a really good job. Bailey Brown, I've got written down here, came on at 82 minutes, and when Horsham were chasing, they were launching a lot of balls into the box. He was winning everything. Billy Leonard came on 71 minutes, and I remember his hold-up play was really good. Just ball was played to him, and he held it up well and ran at defenders and caused them problems.
Yeah, and even Ruben Bartlett Antwi that night, he barely touched the ball, but he was applying the press. He was just giving the Horsham backline too much time, so they had to rush.
That worked really well, didn't it?
Yeah.
And Donaldson came on late just to shore things up.
Yeah.
No, I think overall it's be more proactive in the substitution side of things, and it's paid off generally most of the time, I think.
We also were going to talk about, since our last podcast, that was just before Christmas, so we've had basically 2026, 2 months of the year so far. Fair amount of games, coming up to 10 or so games. Who's been your player of the year for 2026 so far, January and February? I know Henry got the player of the month for January, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was close ones. Adam Malakai's done really well, I think.
I think he has. He's had a really good start to the year. Yeah.
Good start to the year.
Yeah.
And of course, Tomo, when he plays. Hawkins did really well. Plus, Lamar Reynolds, January, I think we scored a few then. But for me, overall, it's a close one. Sam Young's.
Yeah,
he's chipped in with his goals.
Yeah, he certainly has.
That's right.
It's kind of a defining feature whenever we go on a run. Sam Youngs has been scoring goals.
Yeah, even end of last season, if you remember, it was the same thing. And
he scored 8. He was our only goal scorer for about 8 games in a row, wasn't he?
It was an insane record, and he was so gutted that his goal got disallowed and Farnborough offside.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
I think we were as well doing the commentary, but. I'd give it to Sammy.
Okay.
He shows I'm not biased, and he's a Spurs fan, so we actually gave it.
Yeah, all the names you brought up there, John. Yeah, Adam Malachi, I think he's had a good start to the year. Henry Hawkins has been great since he came back from injury. I've also got Yaku Traore written down here, who since he came in has been excellent in midfield. Definitely. All the things we talked about earlier. Captain Fantastic Mickey Parcell. When he plays, we play well. Hayden Bullis for his energy in midfield.
I think he's missed the consistency, Hayden Bullis, isn't he? Yeah.
But Sam Young's for me as well, because just his goals. I mean, 2 at Farnborough, 2 against Horsham. He scored a goal of the season contender against Torquay. I know we lost the game, but you may remember we went one up, and that was a fantastic goal. So, and I just think he's been playing really, really well. Yeah. Whether he plays as a striker
or behind,
or tip of the diamond, or just generally in midfield, he always does well for me.
He really, as you say, the classic cliche, gets stuck in and puts a shift in every single time.
Mr. ETFC.
Yeah, he really do. Really
on 99 goals, Sam Young's.
And if you're listening, Sammy, you might be next for our podcast. Please don't go afterwards, though. We want you to stay.
What do you reckon, Michael?
I mean, all the usual suspects you've mentioned, they're kind of on the short list. possibly go for Traore. I think he gives us something a little different. I think a strong contender would be Bullis any month, any week.
Yeah.
But as player of the year, maybe Bullis if he's the whole season, possibly.
I feel a bit for him. We're playing the diamond. He stuck out on the right, as you said earlier. It's not his position. He makes a fine fist of it anyway. I'm not sure it necessarily utilises his talents as well as they might be, but it works. I understand it. But yeah, I've liked Traore since he's come in. He, as you say, he reads the game. There's a loose ball, he'll pick it up, sort of no fuss, and he can put in a crunching tackle as well, as you said, for a slightly built man. So I've liked the cut off his jib.
So it's a good
agreed.
choice.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
So finally, then wrapping up, predictions for survival. What are we thinking? We've done this, I think, every podcast episode. We sort of predicted where Town might finish up. It started off fairly confidently on mid-table, maybe 13th, and 14th, it's kind of 17th, it's become 16th, 17th. What are we thinking now, chaps?
Well,
are you praying?
So, we're on. Was it 30 points? We're on
30. Yeah.
33 if we want to match last season, we need 18 more points. We've got quite a few home games to come, potentially winnable ones. It's just going to be tight, isn't it? You know, I like to be a glass half full person, so I like to think that yes, we will do it. But you know what? I think what worries me. What worries me is the teams around us are picking up points. Everyone seems to be winning. You know, Eastbourne, they get rid of their manager, they start winning games. I think they beat Torquay, didn't they?
Yeah.
They won today. Farnborough, we thought, we finished them off with that 5-0 thumping. Then they got a late winner, didn't they, midweek?
Yeah, with Chippenham.
Chippenham are winning. Chippenham won today. That's what worries me. Hampton and Richmond are up to today, have been on good form. So they're all picking up points. It's going to be a one almighty dogfight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give us something to smile about, John.
Do you know what? I think Gavin has said that something about when he was interviewed that a few times is we've improved compared to last year, but so have the other teams improved.
Yeah.
And that is so true. There's a lot of more invested in this league. We know wages-wise from other clubs we've spoken to. I've spoken to a few other clubs. Coaches won't give them because I know for a fact as we work together in partnership for my charity, certain ones, you know how much they pay. And obviously we're not in that category of those sort of high salaries, but there's a lot more money invested even this year in the National League South or North or National League throughout all three divisions. But
there is some, and a lot of our competitors have got better squads than us.
Yeah, and even with Hampton, they when I've done the rewriting my notes, there's always new players.
Yeah, well, they gave their manager a big budget.
And we were chatting to, when we did the commentary, I think with Farnborough, we were chatting to a scout who was sitting next to a lovely bloke called Alex, who was telling us about the investment they had there and good insight into what's going on in other clubs. But I think we finished 2 spaces above relegation, did we, last year? I think this time
we did.
We're going to finish just above, I've got a feeling. And I'm dreading the Hampton and Richmond games. They literally are the 6-pointers.
Well, they are.
But I'm always, like you said, always a glass is half full. Always an eternal optimist. Otherwise, what's the point of going on in life if you're not an optimist?
If we do stay up, bigger achievement than last season?
I'd say
you know what, I think last year was a different context because the first time up in that league to hold your own. This year we've learned, but then the other teams, like you said, they improved a lot. I'd be more chuffed staying up second season syndrome that they have in other divisions. It's just been more, apart from the blip with Maidstone, I thought defensively we were better, apart from that one odd, obviously the game that stuck, that how many we conceded there. And I'm kind of disappointed where we're going to finish in what we thought, Because I still think we're better than where we are.
Well, that's the thing. The amount of games we've all been to this season, particularly away games, where opposition fans have said, you don't look like a team who should be struggling.
It seems like every week the opposition media will say that when we're wrapping up our commentary, won't
That's
they?
right. Yeah.
This is a better team than last year, though. We've got to look at it that way. And I'll be thrilled if we stay up. I mean, we should have a little parade around Enfield Town if we do. I'll be happy, honestly, because we deserve to stay up. As I've seen other teams, we've been obviously home and away with a lot of these matches, and we're better than where we are. I mean, the top teams who played like Hornchurch, we only got a point when we really should have got 4 points out of that. Really.
I mean, those added time goals, we've kind of put that to bed a little bit now in the last month or two, but they've cost us over 10 points.
Yeah, like 12, 13 points or something, which is a big difference.
Added time is part of the game, but it says a lot about the quality of the players, the quality of our performances, that after 90 minutes... the game's ended at 90 minutes, we'd be 10 points better off. And it's very much became a psychological thing after 90 minutes, the added time where we were conceding goals. My take on it is it needs one more good run. We had that 4-game run just before Maidstone where we won 2, drew 2. I think if we can put together another 5 or 6 game run, because before that we were very much in danger of getting really cut adrift, 6 points, 9 points away from everyone else. Now we're very even with everyone else. Basically, there's 1 point separating each team. If you look at the bottom 4, 5, 6, I think just one more decent run slightly lifts us out, and then we can.
Well, if you look at our next games coming up, Michael, Hampton, Richmond at home, Chippenham away, Chesham at home, Dagenham at home. If you want to go on a good run, they're possibly fixtures you would like to play. I mean, Dagenham, I know, a good side, but they're inconsistent.
And at this point of the season, it's not the worst thing to play mid-table sides.
No, exactly.
Whose motivation fades slightly.
That's right. So you could argue next 4 games could be crucial, perhaps.
They're all crucial.
Every game literally is a cup final now for us, and 2 games a week practically every week. And
but those home games, home to Hampton, home to Chesham, home to Dagenham, because after that it's home to Dorking and home to Worthing.
They're tough.
Tough.
But then saying that, we've done well with the top teams as well.
Well, that's right. Yeah, true.
There we go. Nice optimistic note to finish on from the voice of positivity.
Say it again, John. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith, Towners. Even if it kills us, we'll still keep the faith. And we're all in this together, as we know. And look, I know the players give it 100%. I mean, they're a lovely bunch of lads as well. We're not just saying that was doing a podcast. Those Zav, we'd be scared to say no to you. but no, it's the great bunch of lads. And Gavin, we love his honesty as well when he's interviewed. And you know what I love about his club is it's very intergenerational, and it's a great spirit, and we deserve to stay up.
Yeah, what I thought was very impressive was that after the Maidstone game midweek, the players still came over to the fans and still spoke to them, and that says everything you want to know
we're in this
about
together,
this club.
Thick and thin, you know.
That's right.
Great stuff. Right. Thanks for listening. See you for the next podcast.
Yeah, cheers everybody.
Take care.